Hey Teela Jammers, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I haven't posted in a while, but what I wanted to do is limit the videos. Um, Today is a special day. Um, One not many will recognize. Today is World Prematurity Day, and it's really about honing in on women, on children, on babies that are born before their due date. I don't have stats today, but I do want to focus on a particular issue in relation to preterm birth, which is mental health. My whole thing is mental health anyway, and I never went into preterm births with any of my children, but I know friends and family have. And the condition that I want to focus on today is histrionic personality disorder. If you've heard anything about the word histrionic, you will know it comes from, things like being dramatic, attention seeking, that kind of thing. And if you know anything about women or stereotypes about women, is we are always labeled as dramatic. We are always labeled as, over the top. We want too much of something. And the reason why I've kind of married the two, um, being humble enough to have children is one thing, but having a personality disorder or having a mental health issue attached to having children is also something that can be really harmful to your new growing family. One of the things I wanted to stress today is that women don't go into preterm labor because of complications. Women don't lose babies because of complications. It is a lot to do with the health state of the women, the environments in which they are supporting their child to grow in, and I don't mean in terms of their body, in terms of their workplace, or even in the home, even in the sense of where they go to seek medical advice and support. When people are dealing with situations where their child or their newborn child is posing a risk to their health, this is where things start to get discredited, especially in line with the labour or the birth. I think it's a brilliant day to celebrate, but it's also a day not to tolerate as well. We don't need to tolerate women going into preterm births, having children induced, or having children put in situations like incubation, and researched upon to see what the issues are when we already know that mum could be suffering from ABC. The cluster that histrionic personality disorder sits within, because there's a whole library, and I won't go into the library of psychological stuff, but there's a whole library of psychological disorders, personality disorders, mental health characteristics, traits that we all carry and that can all be evidenced in our experiences, but we sometimes have a character or have a reputation that helps it. Don't know what happened with my recording station there, but what I was saying was the issues in line with where our women fall under, various environments or various stressful situations. We don't need to carry out certain levels of education around why things happen or even how or what has caused things to happen. Women are more than capable, just as the fathers involved, the new fathers involved, to be supported in a way that allows the baby to grow in a healthy manner. Whether it is seeking counsel throughout each semester. I'm saying semester. My goodness. This isn't baby brain. Trimester. I think it's the histrio. I'm like, histrio, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, the trimesters that women go through during pregnancy are 3 trimesters. So it's not many to cover. And if we think about early births or preterm births, it's more or less likely just before the 2nd trimester. So, it's it's about working with the women and the other parent to be to support them to love their child in the best way, and not to envisage a condition on the parents or the women even, but to encourage and I guess permit any kind of grievance at any instant. And we are not Teela Jam, I am not saying that we need entitled professionals, expertise and all of this to encourage better ways of working with pregnant women. But going back to histrionic personality disorder, when I was reading up about it, which I have done on other personality disorders, when I was reading up about it, it was very much about shallowness and very much centered on the histrionic meaning or the name that histrionic carries. So there's a lot of, descriptions in relation to shallow behaviour, fixation on sex, and that, the characteristics of, exploiting one's body, the image, the distortion of image in terms of how a person looks. And what actually threw me off a little bit, because I've only just read about this individual label, was that with this, especially when it comes to symptoms of, behaviour where someone is very dramatic in or exaggerated in their emotions, where it comes to mental health, they said there is a reason why this personality disorder isn't diagnosed as much, because it's very rare that someone will present all of these kind of symptoms, of course in one go or over time, and the most likelihood of it being diagnosed is after 18. When we are thinking of personality disorders, especially in relation to descriptions in terms of the label that it carries, doing anything preempting to an age on my part is actually quite disturbing, because it mentioned in one of the things I read was, this personality disorder, because it is called histrionic personality disorder, this disorder may derive from childhood trauma. And so if there is an issue with it, the onset of certain symptoms occurring and someone not being able to get real help until they're diagnosed, until they really know, okay, this is what I have, okay, what help do I get? Because that's the natural way of going about anything. If I haven't brushed my teeth and I get plaque, I'm not going to go to the doctor because of a tummy ache. I'm going to know my symptoms are because, oh, I haven't been brushing my teeth, and they'll say, oh, it's just plaque. No one is going to go, have you had your period yet? How many babies do you have? They're not going to go down a route of other than. And so my issue here to present today, in line with, looking at personalities, and thinking of your yeses, thinking of what do you know truly about yourself, what can you say openly and begrudgingly against anyone that's like, no, she's not this. The real yes you say to yourself is, if there is underlying A, B, C, D, then I need this. So for me, the carry away, especially in line with anything to do with recognizing an illness, say for example, mental health, or recognizing a deficit in our system, such as, looking at women and how and why prematurity in childbirth happens, is not to say that, there's all these characteristics that happen, but we can't actually diagnose it because we don't actually know, or they're not truly aware of how it works. So it is a variable that I'm just looking to explore with you this month. Obviously this is mid-month, and I don't know what you guys are, doing this November. But yeah, always remember to stay safe. And as you recognise World Prematurity Day, in line with childbirth, there's also prematurities in helping people to understand their diagnosis, whether it is something that makes you anxious, so you might become overindulgent in, or in wearing short clothes. That doesn't necessarily mean that you've got histrionic personality disorder. And I'm definitely not putting it out there that people that are shallow or dramatic or whatnot may have this characteristic, but I'm just throwing it out there that some things can be very premature in the library of things. There's so many avenues to support people, especially when there's been breakdowns in their life. It cannot just be a diagnosis of, oh, you've got histrionic, or you've got anxiety issues or panic attacks, because these are umbrellas of things that can be diverted from what the real issues are, which is, maybe there was a breakdown in a relationship that just has affected you for life, and that is the full end. There's no spectrum that can tell anybody that, oh, they've just got histrionic. If there is a let's say a grievance in terms of, baby loss or adoption because of, I don't know, some issue between you and your partner, then the real root of not diagnosing anything in a premature way, the real root of, diagnosis is to just understand in its complexities how it came to be, not why or what you could have done. Because the reality is, when we start diagnosing, when we start preempting things, we actually become premature in allowing what is to just be. But as I said, I don't want to go on too long because this is quite a long video. But yeah, just sending warm wishes to everyone that may have had, or because sometimes we don't actually need to remind ourselves of the child labour experiences that we've had. But anyone that's going through premature traumatic episodes, anyone that has been diagnosed prematurely or feels that they may be diagnosed prematurely, seek help in a way that is beneficial to you. Seek help in a way that is not enlightening someone else's life. Lighten your load is something that I've heard a lot this year. And don't just settle on anything. And that's my yes for this month. I'm going to carry on with my yeses for the next couple of months until the end of the year. So I'll see you in the next one. So choose what you love and love what you choose.